Remember when you were a kid, 4, maybe 5 years old, not a care in the world, except for one burning desire. Ice cream. You want ice cream. I mean, really want ice cream. Mommy, Daddy, buy me some now! Answer me this. Do you think it's more likely that you get your heart's desire if you're acting like a spoiled little snot, or if you're mommy and daddy's perfect little angel? Show of hands for perfect little angel. That, ladies and gentlemen, is karma. Karma is the Buddhist or Hindu belief in the fundamental law of the universe, that what we put out into it, both positive and negative, will come back to us. Traditionally, it takes the form of a sort of cosmic scorecard that's tracking us, our actions both positive and negative, so that we can be rewarded or punished appropriately when next we reincarnate. I believe that karma is real, but not because there may or may not be some supernatural force watching over us, ready to reward or punish us later, but because there is a direct, observable cause and effect relationship between the actions we take on a day-to-day basis and the rewards or punishments we receive, and our overall quality of life. For example, moving. Now, I've relocated about 8 times in the past 8 years, not quite as many as Tom Hanks. Quickly, show of hands, who here in the audience likes moving to a new and exciting place? I see a few hands. Those of you with your hands up, you're weirdos. Now, show of hands, who here hates moving? My people. I detest moving, but I love helping people move. I get to do a good deed, I get a little bit of exercise, and when I'm doing my 9th relocation in as many years, Tom Hanks, here I come, I have a whole squad of willing recruits at the ready. There's a catch, though. A lot of do-gooders, of those who believe in karma, treat it as a trade where we give to get. The problem is, if you and I give to get, we will always get less than we give. If we give to get, we will always get less than we give. If you and I go out and help, let's say, 10 people move, and we make it clear that we're here to help, but we expect their help in return, most of those people will probably show up on moving day, let's say 8 out of 10. But those people are there not because they want to be, but because they feel obligated. And they will only stay long enough and put in just enough effort to fulfill that obligation. Fair trade? Maybe. What if, instead of a trade, we invest in our karma? What if, instead of a trade, we invest in our karma? What if we go out and help 10 people move, and we make it clear through our words, through our actions, through our attitudes, that we're here not because we necessarily expect something directly in return, but because we want to help. We want to invest in our karma, in our relationships with those 10 people, in making them happier, in making the world around us better. We might not even get as many people that show up to help us, maybe 6. But those 6 are there not because they feel obligated, not because they have to be, but because they too want to invest in their karma, in their relationships with us, in making all of us happier, and making the world around us better. Here's the cool part. If you and I do this consistently, we go out, we help people move, we walk for charity, we volunteer at the soup kitchen, we will naturally attract to ourselves an entire community of like-minded individuals. All of us willing to put in the effort to invest in our karma, in our relationships with each other, making everybody around us happier, making the world around us better. Here's the kicker. If you and I do this, if you and I make the world a better place, we get to live in it. If you and I make the world a better place, we get to live in it. I want to share with you a story about a very close friend of mine named Paul. Everything that I had growing up, financial stability, a safe neighborhood, a loving and supportive family, all those things that I took for granted, Paul didn't have. Yet somehow, despite growing up in the slums of Philadelphia, drug-addicted father, absentee mother, he hoisted himself up by his own bootstraps, graduated valedictorian of his high school class, and got himself into the exact same Ivy League institution that I, with all my good fortune, was also able to attend. You'd think that that would be enough. But between an ongoing toxic home environment, simultaneous crippling physical and psychological trauma, and ongoing undiagnosed mental health issues, what should have been a 4-year degree turned into a decade-long fight for Paul's future. I will never forget the phone call I got from him 2 months before he was finally going to graduate to confess that he had completely run out of money. No more loans, no more grants, certainly no help from home. And he didn't have enough money for food for the next 2 months. Now, I would love to tell you that I'm the hero of this story, that I cut him a check. But I was recently graduated. I was starting my own business. I didn't have the money. But 2 couples that I knew did. 2 couples who had never met Paul. Each reached into their own pockets, pulled out $1,000 to invest in somebody they had never met. And when Paul asked, "What can I do in return?" their answer was, both of them, just tell him to pay it forward. I will also never forget the phone call I got the day after Paul's graduation. "Hey, Paul, what's up?" "I made it. Thanks to you. Thanks to your friends. I made it. And now all of us, me, Paul, his heroes, all of us get to live in a world where somebody like Paul can make it." That's how I know that karma is real. You may be thinking, great story. That's awesome that Paul's heroes were able to do that for him. But I can't. I don't have $1,000. I can't move mountains. I can't part the seas. I can't possibly make a difference. Let me tell you one more story. This one's a fable, my personal favorite when I was growing up as a kid, about an elderly gentleman walking down the beach after a storm. And the storm has created a bunch of puddles that will eventually dry up. Trapped in many of these puddles are starfish that, when the puddles dry up, will die. This old man is walking along the beach, and when he comes to a starfish trapped in a puddle, he bends down, picks it up, tosses it back in the ocean. And he continues doing this until he comes across a much younger man who sees the older man walk up to a starfish, bend down, pick up the starfish and toss it in the ocean. And the younger man says, "What do you think you're doing? Do you have any idea how many starfish are washed up, not just on this beach, but on beaches all over the world? You can't possibly make a difference." The older man thinks about this for a second, walks up to the next puddle, bends down, picks up another starfish, tosses it in the ocean, and says, "It made a difference to that one." Ladies and gentlemen, I challenge you to build your own karma, not as a trade, not a give to get, where we will always get less than we give, but to invest in your karma. Go out, do good, attract to yourself an entire community of like-minded individuals, all of them working to invest in their karma, in their relationships with each other, making each other happier, making the world around all of us better. If we make the world a better place, we get to live in it. You can make a difference. One starfish at a time. Thank you.